Hop, skip, drive straight to jail is no longer just a figure of speech. Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, I'm Mark. This is Mark's Travel Time. If you are new to the channel, I'm going to ask that you click my face down there in the corner right now to subscribe to my channel. And while you're at it, ring that bell icon up above. That way you'll know when I post new videos. Every now and then on this channel, I have to discuss things I would rather not discuss, but they're important. I think that it's important that we all are aware of what's happening here. There's a rideshare company called HopSkipDrive. And on this channel, I have sarcastically referred to it as Hop, Skip, Drive Straight to Jail. And that is no longer just a figure of speech. There is a disturbing story out of Las Vegas. Now, who knows? These things have probably happened before and just not garnered the attention of this story. In order to stay within the decorum that you expect of this channel, I'm not going to talk about any gritty details, but I am going to convey to you what happened. This I'm getting from KTNV in Las Vegas, a rideshare driver working for a company called HopSkipDrive that caters to kids. Now, there is the important, significant part of this story. The company caters to driving children. He's been arrested and charged with unlawful contact with a minor and luring a child. Police released a booking photo today of 50-year-old Rainier Braga, who was taken into custody Friday. The arrest stemmed from a reported incident involving a 13-year-old girl that Braga picked up from Child Haven. Now, Child Haven, I'm assuming, is a school, and the reason I'm making that assumption is because of what comes further. At some point in the ride, law enforcement sources say Braga made a suggestive comment to the girl in the backseat. Bear in mind, this girl is only 13 years old. This is a type of incident many worried would happen when kids get rides with complete strangers. HopSkipDrive is contracted with Clark County to provide rides to foster kids to and from school and activities. So there you go. Not only was this ride being provided under the guise of this company, HopSkipDrive, but it was being sanctioned and paid for by Clark County. This is so disturbing. Let's go on. It's also available to the public through an app where parents can book rides for their children. HopSkipDrive gives rides to unaccompanied minors. Unlike Uber and Lyft, which both have policies against transporting anyone under 18 who's unaccompanied, there are so many things here. First of all, last week I reviewed a dash cam. And I've been saying for years on this channel, everyone should have a dash cam. And I was negligent myself. I didn't have one. I knew it was important. But I'll tell you, I am going to use mine every single trip now. And I think you should as well, because it keeps you safe. Now, if you are a degenerate like this guy, okay, I'm going to back off on that statement and say an alleged degenerate like this guy. It's not going to help you, but it might help keep you safe should there be a false accusation. But this story is so disturbing because it happened to a child. And unfortunately, a child doesn't have the power. They're not empowered to make the choices we can as adults. We hear these types of stories with adults, and while they're disturbing and they're upsetting, as adults, we can make choices. We have a certain amount of control over what we do. Children don't. So whether it was a foster care that sent her on this ride, and they were probably doing so with the understanding that Clark County has supported this and endorsed this. I don't know who dropped the ball here, but this child not only cannot make choices for herself, but she was relying on the adults in her life to do so for her. And then an incident like this happens. Now, fortunately, it sounds like it stopped at the inappropriate verbal behavior. That doesn't justify it. I mean, if that was my daughter, can you imagine how the anguish and the trauma that could endure? Let's read on. County commissioners approved a $250,000 a year contract with the company, which has been operating Las Vegas for less than 2 months. It only took 2 months for this to happen. And it makes you wonder how many things like this happen that go unreported. We always hear stories of things that happen, especially at that age when you're 12, 13, you're kind of insecure and you sort of just want it to go away, so you might not mention it to people. I'm not suggesting that things happen we don't know about. What I'm suggesting is it is a very real possibility. In a statement, Clark County says the county has temporarily suspended the use of HopSkipDrive pending the outcome of our investigation into the recent allegations. As soon as we learned about the terrible allegations, we contacted the police, good, to have the driver arrested. Prior to hiring HopSkipDrive, county officials contacted school districts and child welfare agencies that also use the company in other jurisdictions. During that review, we did not hear about any problems with the drivers. In addition, all of the drivers are given thorough criminal background checks before being allowed to drive any passengers. HopSkipDrive has been cooperating fully with us and the police during the investigation. And then it gives a plea from the police, so I'm going to pass this along as well. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Detective Braga has access to various passengers. Absolutely, he does, as do all rideshare drivers. Anyone with information about Braga who feels they may have been victimized by him, don't limit it to him. If you have been victimized by anybody, whether you're a rider, a driver, a passenger, an adult, a child, we shouldn't limit it to that. It has to be reported. In this case, they want you to contact the Sexual Assault Section at 702-828-3421. I hate to talk about these things, but we can't let it go. We know passengers are at risk. We know drivers are at risk. We do a lot of things to alleviate that risk. But I'll tell you one thing. As a driver, I would stay so far away from a company that catered to children. In my mind, it is just putting yourself in a position where you don't have to be put in. Children are vulnerable. And now you're putting a child in a vehicle where they have no control, and that vehicle is moving alone with one other person. The risk is so high. The risk is so high. Now, you can say that about anybody. You can say that about anyone getting into a car. But when we are adults, we can make those choices. We can make those informed choices. We have options to check on the people. Now, I know what you're saying. This person was vetted. They could check on him. And these things may happen anyway. I get it. But it was someone else that put this child in the backseat of that car. The child did not make that decision for herself. In our case, I can make a decision. I can decide whether I think I'm going to be safe when I get into an Uber. I can do all the safety checks, check out the car, the color, the make, the model, the driver's name. I can use the code system. There are a lot of things I can do. I can protect myself. I can sit in places where I know that I'm going to be safer. There are so many things that I personally can do. Children don't have the experience. Children don't have the decision-making abilities, and children are not empowered. So that's why I find this particular story so very disturbing. HopSkipDrive. I'm not even going to use my little joking title, because at this point this is not a joking matter. What do you think of it? Would you put a child in the care of a rideshare driver? Would you drive for a company like HopSkipDrive who caters solely to children? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Please, as always, leave your comments down below, like and share the videos. If you haven't already, please click my face to subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm Mark, and this is Mark's Travel Time.